Hello, students. Again, this is teacher Teresa. Another week, another topic. So, before we start our topic for this week, let's have a short review from our last lesson. So, in Unit 2, we discussed about deserts, right? So, there are different types of deserts. It's not all about hot and warm deserts, but there are also semi-arid deserts. So in semi-arid deserts, you can see much a lot of plants there, a lot of plants there compared to hot and warm. And the third type is the coastal desert. That is where you can see along the beach front or it's beside the ocean or the sea. And the last one is the cold deserts. So these cold deserts can be found in the Arctic and Antarctic region of the earth. So there you can see an iceberg, some icebergs or very cold weather is in there. So aside from that, that is in passage 1. So in passage 2, we discussed about the spread of deserts. So how desertification becomes a problem in a city or a village, okay? And some of the reason why they are spreading faster, they say not the same with the faster than the usual. Yeah. So that is the passage number 2. So now let's move on to unit 3 and we will discuss about passage number 1. But before that, let me let you watch the short video clips and I want you to observe what is the girl is doing in the video. So if you're ready, let's start.
Ela mora no meu peito e eu moro vizinho a ela. E eu fico desse jeito, pensando nos beijos, nos carinhos dela. Ela mora no meu peito e eu moro vizinho a ela. E eu fico desse jeito, pensando nos beijos, nos carinhos dela. Ela mora.
All right, so I hope you watched the short video clip and I think you already know what is our passage today all about. So as what you have seen in the video, the girl is recycling some papers, right? So what do you call or what do you mean recycling? So out from the old paper, she able to produce a new paper, a new kind of paper. So that is what you call recycling. From old, you're going to have a new product from it. So before that, okay. So again, students, you're already in Unit 3, and Unit 3 is all about papers. So here is what we call the sequence of events. So this is our focus, what we call this one, focus reading mechanics. Okay, that is how our sequence of event is all about something that you need to organize information in correct order. So based on this one, sequence of events is the proper order of the event. Example, if you're going to bake a cake, you need to follow the steps on how you make a cake or else you cannot able to do it properly. So that is the sequence of events. So in order for you to know the sequence of events, you should also familiarize with some keywords. So these are some keywords: first, then, finally, next, last, while, during, after, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's move on to this one. So here you can see a question, okay? So the question is, what is the second obstacle that must be overcome? So when you say overcome, it means that you need to have a solution or you need to overcome or win over it. So in order for you to answer or to know what is the second obstacle here, you need to read what's inside this box. And after reading that one, you need to choose between A, B, C, or D, which one is the correct answer. Okay, so I'll give you 1 minute to read inside what's inside here and choose between A, B, C, or D. Okay, if you're ready, timer starts now. All right, so 1 minute is already yeah, it's already up. So based on the paragraph, let's see what is the second obstacle here. So it says here you can see the keyword second. So second is wind power generators must provide more efficient power. So that is the second obstacle based on this short paragraph. So for you to overcome or win for this, you must, okay, if your answer is letter D, make more efficient wind power generators, you are correct. So that is how you overcome this obstacle, okay? So let's move on to the passage number one itself, recycling paper. So if you're ready, you can read along or just listen to the recording. So if you're ready, let's start.
Passage 1. Recycling paper. Recycling paper is a big part of keeping our environment clean. When paper, cardboard, or wood products are recycled, we don't need to chop as many trees down. Recycling ensures the water is polluted 35% less and the air is polluted 74% less than they would be otherwise.
All right, so let's move on to paragraph number two.
The recycling process can be highly complex. First, the customer throws out old magazines, juice cartons, and even telephone directories. Second, a recycling truck comes around to homes and office buildings. This truck picks up those and takes them to a recycling plant. Then various types of paper are sorted by grade. This is the third process. Getting the ink out of the paper fiber is the fourth and most important process. This is called the de-inking process. All the ink on newspapers, scrap paper, and even milk cartons needs to be removed. It involves a difficult chemical and mechanical process. The paper is washed with soapy water. This removes the ink and any plastic coating or glue. At this point, the paper is very wet and mushy. The fifth process is putting this wet paper into a vast holding tank. The staff at the recycling plant then adds different material to the wet paper. This is how different types of new paper are made. Of course, A4 paper for computer printers needs to be a different thickness than that of paper grocery bags. The sixth process is spreading the types of paper onto large flat sheets. The largest of these sheets will be used for newsprint to make newspapers. The final process is the drying stage. After that, the paper is ready to be shipped.
Okay, so here in paragraph number two, it's all about the process or steps on how you recycle a paper. So first, okay, let's go to the keyword. First, the customer throws out old magazines, juice cartons, and even telephone directories. So all of the old papers must be thrown out first. Next, second step is a recycling truck comes around to homes and office buildings. This truck picks up those and takes them to a recycling plant. So the second step is a recycling truck. Okay, you can see that one anywhere, even here in Thailand. There is a recycling truck that we're going to get those old papers and will take them to a recycling plant. So here in a recycling plant, here is where the recycled paper will be made. Okay. So the third process is the various types of papers are sorted by grade. So that is the third process. So when you say various different, okay, different types of papers need to be sorted or will be grouped by their grades. Okay. Next, the fourth process is getting the ink out of the paper fiber. Okay, that is what we call the inking process. That is the fourth process. Okay, the fourth step. Now, the fifth step is putting this wet paper into a vast holding tank. So after putting or making the paper wet, as what you can see in the video, You need to put them somewhere that can hold them before putting them into, which is the sixth process, putting them into a large flat sheet. So there you can put the wet papers and they will be molded again into papers on that large flat sheets. Now, the final step or the final process in recycling the paper is the drying stage. Okay, so take note, the first one is throwing out all the old papers. Next, the second process or the second step is a, a recycling truck will get them and they're going to take them into a recycling plant. And the third process is you need to sort it. Okay, the various or different type of papers must be sorted. The fourth process or the fourth step is getting the ink out of the paper fiber. Next, the fifth process is putting the wet paper into a vast holding tank. And the sixth process is spreading the types of paper in the large flat sheets. And the final process is the drying stage. Okay, now let's listen to this paragraph 3 and the last paragraph for this passage.
By recycling paper, we can not only save trees, but also save energy. Making one roll of recycled newspaper uses 40 to 64% less energy than going to the forest and cutting down another tree. But there are limits to recycling paper. After a piece of wood pulp paper is recycled 4 to 5 times, the individual fibers in the paper become too weak. The recycled paper cannot be made into new paper products.
All right. So here in paragraph 3, it's all about the benefits on recycling paper and how, or the limitation and how many times a paper can be recycled. So here it says that around 40 to 64% less, okay, by recycling paper, we get 40% to 64% less energy than going to forest and cutting down another tree. So imagine that is a lot of energy, right? Now, here's the limitation. Not all the time we can recycle the paper, but there are only, or it can only, a paper can only use or reuse within 4 to 5 times. After that, the paper cannot be made into a new paper products. So I hope that you or you understand what is our passage all about today, students. And here are some glossary or some words that can be found in the passage. So the first one is cardboard. So cardboard is a stiff form of paper used for packaging. So example for this one are boxes, cartons, okay? Now, fiber. Fiber is a thin thread of substance often found in cloth or paper. Now, let's move on to this one. So this will be your homework. Okay, a graphic organizer. So a graphic organizer is a visual display, usually a diagram or illustration. It can help you organize information or facilitate the visualization of concepts, relationships, and facts of the passage. So imagine you need to use a graphic organizer for you to have at least a summary of what you have read. Okay, so instead of reading this paragraph from 1, 2, 3, there's a lot of paragraph there. You just need to use a graphic organizer instead for you to understand what it's all about, okay? And easier for you to read it. So here you can see the first box here is all about the main idea, okay? That is the main idea of the paragraph. And you can see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. It means the six process of or the 6 steps on recycling on how you recycle a paper. So you can base your answer here. Okay, so this will going the answer. This will be going to be the answer. So this is the main idea. So the main idea is the chemical process of recycling paper. Recycling paper is a good way to save the environment. There are several steps that have to be completed in order to recycle a paper. So the first step is different kinds of papers are thrown out. Second step, recycling trucks collect and take waste paper to a recycling plant. The third step, various types of paper are sorted by grade. The fourth step, all the ink on the paper is removed through a chemical and mechanical process and the paper is washed by soapy water. Next, the fifth process is the wet paper is put into a vast holding tank and different materials are added. The sixth step the sixth step or process is the paper is spread into large flat sheets. And the last one, which is the seventh process, is the paper is dried or the drying process. Okay, so I hope you understand our short paragraph reading today, students. And so the paragraph for today is all about recycling paper and the steps on how you recycled it. Okay, so this will be your homework. The graphic organizer here. All you need to do is you need to answer this one. If you have book, you just simply write it in your book. And if you don't have, write it in your notebook and send the picture of your work to our line group. So again, this is teacher Teresa. Be safe, keep healthy, and let's meet each other next week. Bye for now.